LA Rams. And whose house is it? It is the Rams' house, man. The Rams won the division at a record of 10-7, and the legend continues for Matthew Stafford. Hopefully, we can keep that going. They had a 183.0 passing yards, tied for 18th. Rushing yards, they were 181.0. They were first in the league in that one. They were 31.0 for fourth for points for, 21.0 for points against, which was good for 13th in the league. Let's face it, guys, this really comes down to what Matthew Stafford can do. And I'm hoping that this isn't the end of the road for him, because with all the back issues that he has going on, he's not really practicing. They're trying everything they can. Before we even get to the start on the outlook on the team, is you guys think it's time to ring the bell for alertness on this one? Matthew Stafford's not been practicing pretty much at all, or do you think he's just a veteran? He's got this already.
Yeah, I tend to be on the page of he's a veteran. He's got it already. I think they just want to take care of him before the regular season starts.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to. The dude's been in the league since what, 2010, something like that. Whenever it was, and number one pick in the draft for a reason. Dude won a Super Bowl with the Rams right when he got traded over. He showed what he could prove. 37 years old. The only other case other than women being pregnant of a dude getting epidural that I've ever heard of in my life. And there's a lot of reasoning for that with his back. He had a neck injury as well. He had elbow injury. He had shoulder injury. And it's like, if you don't need him to practice, he already knows the ins and outs of the whole playbook. He knows exactly how to win an NFL game. Obviously, he's a Super Bowl champion. And there's no reason to put him out there if you don't really need him to. Obviously, he needs to be active still. He probably does a little bit of running, a little bit of lifting, trying to get his back right and all that stuff. But when it comes to actually practicing football plays and learning the playbook and whatever, he's got it down packed. There's no reason to put him out there, man. So just give him the rest that he needs so he could be available for week 1.
I'm not going to lie. I'm a little nervous for Stafford, man. I think this injury is a lot more serious than they're trying to be optimistic about. He's 37 years old, like you're saying. He got an epidural. You don't get those kind of things unless you got something actually going on, man. So I am actually very concerned for Stafford. It's not the fact of the talent, nor do I not think that he can't do it. I just think that this injury is something that's just been messing with him for so long. And let's face it, man, Father Time always wins. And at 37, you get some of these injuries like that. I don't know. I'm kind of nervous for them on that aspect. But that's just Matthew Stafford. There's a lot more to the team. They also added Devontae Adams this year. The Rams it's a very good-looking team. G-Mike, man, take the rings, man. What do you think of the Rams?
Yeah, they lost Cooper Kupp. They added Devontae Adams. They re-signed Kyren Williams. They gave him a contract extension. Their defense looks kind of the same as it was last year. They lost a little pieces here and there. But I think the Rams, they could be the top of the division with Matthew Stafford at the throne. You bring in Jimmy Garoppolo, which is another quarterback that's been very injury-prone in his career. I don't know if they would do the exact same thing. And then if they both go down, you got Stetson Bennett. Yes, he's a NCAA champion, but other than that, dude, I don't know if he could really go out there and get them at least 5 to 6 wins. You put Matthew Stafford there, I think they get 9 to 11 wins, depending on the day or night. But the team overall looks good when it comes to compared to the rest of the teams in the division. They have a shot at being number 1.
Yep. Yeah, I was gonna say I kind of agree pretty much. Like it's a team that they're gonna do just enough to win the division, kind of in a holding pattern a little bit. Obviously a lot of the young players like Fisk and Verse are gonna continue to develop on defense. And then just adding a couple small pieces in the draft, Chris Paul Jr. I don't believe any relation to actual CP3. Fifth round draft pick out of Ole Miss. I like the fit there. Terrence Ferguson from Oregon, I think is going to be he's a big body tight end that can be another weapon for Stafford to be able to throw to. So little steps here and there. But yeah, just injuries will probably determine the fate. Well, I mean, it determines every fate. But I feel like with this team especially, and again, with Stafford being as old as he is, I don't think it's anything to cause for concern. But if it is ended up being more than what we're expecting, this team can either be, I think, probably one of the bigger swing, boom, or bust type teams where they could probably finish with 10, 11 wins, or they could finish with 6-5 or 6-5. So I feel like the swing for them is going to be a little high.
Yeah, no, I like the Rams a lot. I think they're a really good team, and I think it's just going to come down to the health of Stafford as well. That's clearly, but what they want to do. I feel bad for Devontae Adams if he ends up with Jimmy Garoppolo once again, because you saw how well that ended up in Las Vegas, and he'll be packing those bags awfully quick if Jimmy Garoppolo comes out. Man, I could see him being like, you know what, my back hurts too. I'm good. I don't need to run. I carry this damn team on my back.
He actually talked about that on a podcast because they actually on the Pivot podcast, they actually brought up that same scenario of what you're talking about, Matthew Stafford not being there and Jimmy Garoppolo being at the throne. And he was like, dude, honestly, when it was in the Raiders, yeah, you saw what you saw on the whole wide receiver show for Netflix and all that stuff. But it was just the moment in our lives that we were going through things. And, I said what I said on that stuff, and I apologize and all that stuff, but that's not how I feel towards him. I think he's a great quarterback, and he does what he needs to do to go out there and be the best that he can be for his team. And I appreciate that and I respect that. So, it seems like they're on good terms, bro. So maybe if he does go, you can be straight. Who knows?
Yep.
Until he tries to throw him a pass, then
Yeah.
then they're going to be back on not good terms anymore.